speak now to Andrew Chesnut, who is the Chair in Catholic Studies at Virginia Commonwealth University. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Do you think the Pope's words and deeds there in Chile are likely to stem some of the damage from that sexual abuse scandal?
In terms of the continuing hemorrhaging of membership of the Catholic Church in Chile, I don't think so. I think if we look back to the 1970s, we're looking at long-term Catholic decline. The latest poll from one of the Chilean pollsters itself is reporting that Chile is no longer a Catholic majority nation. Only 45% of Chileans are identifying as Catholic. So I think in the long term, no, this won't really reverse the long-term decline. And of course, one of the main reasons the first Latin American Pope was elected in the first place was to try to halt, if not reverse, this long-term decline. But the new poll from Chile is showing that so far he's not been successful in doing this, particularly in Chile.
And that's despite the fact, as you say, he's a Spanish-speaking Pope, speaking to the people in their own language. And he's got this sort of star power that he manages to capitalize on in lots of other places. But you're saying Chile is not going to buy into any of that?
I don't think so. It's not only Chile, for example. This same Chilean poll is now showing that Brazil, home to the largest Catholic population on earth, is now down to 54% Catholic. And so, I would predict that within 5 years, by 2025, Brazil also will no longer be a Catholic majority nation. And so this is a larger kind of inexorable trend. A lot of Latin Americans have left the Catholic Church for Pentecostal churches. Almost 20% of Latin America is now Protestant. In fact, Brazil is home to the second largest Protestant population on earth today after the United States. And so I don't think, despite his star power, I don't think he has the power, that he has the ecclesiastical force behind him to reverse long-term decline in what is the most Catholic region on earth, home to 40% of the 1.3 billion Catholics on earth.
And would you put all of that down to these ongoing sexual abuse scandals? Of course, Chile, not an isolated example. There have been scandals like that in lots of other countries. Would you say that decline in the number of people identifying themselves as Catholic is largely due to that, or is it other factors such as contraception, abortion, other more practical issues?
That's an excellent question. I would say that the sexual abuse scandal has accelerated the decline, but the sexual abuse scandals really only erupted in the last decade. Prior to that, if the Latin American Church under Pope Francis, and prior to that under liberation theology, adopted a preferential option for the poor, prior to that, the Catholic Church in Latin America really had adopted a preferential option for the privileged. And so a lot of the poor Catholic parishioners in Latin America felt alienated in the church, and it's exactly these millions of poor Latin American Catholics who since the 1970s have exited the Catholic Church, mostly for Pentecostal churches. Brazil, going back to Brazil, Brazil's now not only the largest Catholic population on earth, it has the largest Pentecostal population as well.
Okay, well, we'll have to see what the final outcome is from the papal visit to Chile and whether he managed to turn those numbers around. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Andrew Chesnut, Chair of Catholic Studies at Virginia Commonwealth University. Thank you very much indeed.